Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining us this Sunday afternoon, wherever you're joining us in with NF Life, wherever you're joining us from. God bless you. May God richly honor the time you're going to spend with us. It's been a wonderful season and a wonderful time. Um, Starting the Nexus Fellowship Ministry, slowly growing and slowly building up what God wants to build through the community of people we are able to bring together and to stand together. And today is Mother's Day, so I cannot forget. I just want to say happy Mother's Day to every single person who is a mother, is on her way to become a mother or have plans to become a mother. Happy Mother's Day to you. We love mothers, we appreciate mothers, and we respect mothers. And so for us, it's a wonderful season for us to be able to, take time out and to really, you know, honor our mothers and to speak into the life of young mothers and to speak into the life of even mothers whose children are already grown. And so today we will be having an encouragement message, or we'll be looking at a message around the power or what a mother sees in her children that causes her or causes them to be able to, you know, able to help them achieve the level of success that they are looking to achieve in their life. It is a wonderful time whenever we celebrate Mother's Day, that we are able to, take this time apart and to put this time aside to honor our mothers. And so here at NF, of course, we are glad. And for those of you guys in the group already, I just want to say thank you so much for sticking out with us, for being part of what God is doing. We are on the way. We are, our ministry, me, Evelyn, Willow, and all of you guys who join us on Thursday evenings. God bless you so much. We thank you. We honor you. And we appreciate the time you spend with us. Really, we really appreciate the time you spend with us. And so today, I really want to keep it casual. We want to keep it calm. I don't want to speak at you, but I want you to join me in the thought process, in the things that we'll be looking at. I will be jumping from one scripture to the other, just so that we can look at some of the power of what a mother sees, because like us has already spoken, what a mother sees is what causes them to really be there for their children, and also to really empower them and to bring them to the place where whatever God intends for the life of those children come to pass. And so if you're in the chat, I want to encourage you to say hi in the chat if you're joining us. Whatever time you join, just say hi in the chat. Um, After this message, try and share it with your friends. This is not about fame or getting known around the world. This is just the way we do ministry now. This is how we start, and this is how we are planting God's church. When we are planting God's church digitally, before you move to a community, you stay and you get to know the community. You try to start something, bring people together, and then slowly grow to become what we call the church or the gathering of Christ Jesus. And today, this is where we are now. I believe in the power of the digital transformation. I believe in it. And so this is for us our planting process. This is our bringing people together to plant a community for Christ, or a community that is built around Christ, faith-driven people. And that is what we are trying to do with NF, or Nexus Fellowship, in the full words. And so thank you so much for being part of us already. The mothers, we celebrate you, and we honor your life, and so much that today we want to dedicate the whole series to you. And we really hope that you are enjoying it, because I believe personally, as I'm growing older and having family myself, I am beginning to recognize the importance of things like birthdays, begin to recognize that things like, setting time apart to really celebrate people, because this is all they have, this is all they get, and there's the moments that we make out of it. It's the moments that we make out of it. Like today, people would take their mothers out, they would do things or send them gifts or things like that. See them. Those things are important, especially if you have mothers who have gone beyond to give more and to sacrifice for you. Then indeed it is worth the recognition and saying thank you or doing something back for them on this day. I want us to check or look at something from the book of Proverbs 31, verses 1. It says that it is actually the book of Proverbs 31, 1 talks about the love of the mother. And actually, the reason why I want to speak a little bit about the love of the mother is because the love of the mother is, for me, I think it supersedes the love of a father in some sense. That a mother's connection, as I've become a father myself, I realized that the natural bond between a child and her mother is different than the natural bond between the father and the child. They have this seamless, effortless relationship between the mother and the father, and we all have that with our mothers. No matter what they do, no matter how angry they get at us, no matter how harsh they get at us, we still have this place where we can recognize that these that is our mother, and we love them, and we try to always want their kind of approval, or we want them to be there for us. Compare Mother's Day to Father's Day, and you realize like Father's Days are kind of, it's like people go around and just discuss Mother's Day, like it's Father's Day, shh, don't tell nobody. And then when it's Mother's Day, like Mother's Day, kind of, that's kind of my everybody shows around the Father's Day thing. And because we appreciate our mothers and we understand the full sacrifices that they have, made in order to give us a chance to enjoy this thing or this gift called life. Because without mothers, we would not have a shot at this gift called life. We would not have a chance to be able to, come into this world and to be able to fulfill what God would like to do in this world with our life. And so God gives us life. God has given us life, but in order to get a shot at it, you need a woman to give you entrance, and that is a very important position for us to, for a person to have, and that is why we have to admire those efforts in times like this. When you read the Proverbs 31 verses 1, it says that, and the saying of King Lemuel, an inspired utterance his mother taught him. And so I want to state that about the utterance that his mother taught him, or the advice that his mother gave him, King Lemuel. In some scholars kind of deduce the name Lemuel to either a pseudonym or a nickname for King Solomon, and therefore Bathsheba giving advice to King Solomon. I don't know, I've not studied further to that point where I'm capable of asserting that this is it, but some scholars suggest that, and it also helps us to understand why it's found in the book of Proverbs. And so King Lemuel receives advice or ideas or thoughts from the mother. And the mother, because the mother loves her child, the mother's love is so important that it's able to guide the child from things that the child would have had to endure, or had to suffer, or had to go through, or had to face in adulthood, because the mother is capable of advising him. The mother is capable of opening up the future world to him. Now this child has been spared of the pains of the future. This child will be spared of the troubles of the future. And I think it's so important that mothers are able to do that. Because when you look at book of Proverbs, Proverbs 31, and you see how this mother takes time to teach his son and to really give him guidance and direction, you realize that a mother is capable of, saving a child from enduring unnecessary pain and unnecessary suffering, and also disappointing themselves, which I will get into later on in the message. But some of the statements that I want to make as you listen to this message is that one thing that is important that a mother has to understand is that a mother has such a great role and influence on the final outcome of your child's life. It's a very important statement. You have a great role. You are not just only the birth canal, but God has given you that child because God believes that through you, that child can become who He wants that child to become. That is why He gave that child specifically to you. And so you having that gift of life, you receiving that child means that God knows that your role, your influence on the kid will eventually better the chances of him becoming a successful person in whichever definition that you want to define success eventually. It's important. Just to chip in, since we're a family, me and my family, we have a cold. We've been having cold for a couple of days now. And so if my voice is a little bit changed, it's because of that and your family. So, and this is one of the great things. Probably if you had met me in person on church, at a church meeting place somewhere, and we had to shake hands, I would have affected you with the cold. But thank God we can do it this way, and I don't have to, you know, uh, transmit any fluid to you. But I love meeting in person too, and I believe I'm really looking forward to having really a space for NF where we can get together, those of us who are around the vicinity and who are willing to commune to our locations. So that will happen too. But if you see me blowing my nose or wiping my nose, then you know why. And so, like I said, a mother has such a great role and influence on the final outcome of the child's life. I will not be able to give it all to you, but one thing that I think that makes that important is that when you look at Moses' life, when Moses was born, it was the role of the mother that saved Moses from destruction that was waiting for him. It's an important statement. When a mother is determined to save their child, when a mother sees that, oh, this child that I have is capable or is going to become something that is beneficial to the future of the nation we live in or to the world we live in, and they make every effort to make sure that they protect this gift they have received and guide it slowly, God will make something out of this life because mothers are capable of nurturing. It's only mothers that have the patience to be able to nurture. See, a mother protects is an important thing. A mother protects. When you look at Moses' life in the book of Exodus, chapter 1, chapter 2, Moses' life starts from Exodus chapter 2, from 1 going. If it wasn't for Moses' mother, Moses would have been killed at a very early age because prior to his birth, before he was born, in Exodus chapter 1, if you read the whole chapter, it's about the king of Pharaoh, Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, making a decree. And when you read the 22nd chapter verse, it says that then Pharaoh gave this order to all his people. Every Hebrew boy that is born, you must throw into the Nile, but let every girl live. In other words, Moses will be born in Exodus 22. Exodus 1:22. Oh, Exodus 2, sorry. Moses will be born in Exodus 2. In Exodus chapter 1, verses 22, that Pharaoh, who is the king, who is the final authority of Egypt, has declared that every child born male must be thrown into the Nile. The reason why the child must be thrown into the Nile is because there are crocodiles in the Nile. There are wild animals who eat humans in the Nile. So every baby thrown into the Nile has no chance of a future. But here comes the ingenuity of a mother who is willing to protect her child. The mother first hid Moses for 3 months. And after she sees that it's difficult to hide a 3 month baby, she comes up with a plan to save the child by making or buying or getting a basket that is capable of floating on a river. Understand this is not just any undertaking. It's not like she took any basket, put the baby in it because the baby will sink. So she had to really think through, plan through, and have this, see that I need to save this baby. When you read, I think, when you read the Exodus 2, verses 3, it says that, no, the verses 2, it says that, and when she saw that he was beautiful and healthy, she hid him for 3 months. In other words, when she saw that this baby had something, she was determined to save the baby. My question to you is, are you always, do you see what your children have? It's an important gift because a mother's capacity to protect her children will come out of her ability to see that they carry something different, that they are beautiful, that they are healthy, that they are strong, that they are smart, that God has placed something in them. And because what we mostly protect what we value. We don't protect things that we don't place value on. And so if you place value on your kids because you see something great in them, then you are bound to what? Protect them because they are treasure, they are valuable. And that's what Moses' mother was doing here at this stage. She saw that my son could become something. My son is beautiful. And therefore, I'm not going to let anybody take her away from me. And I will do whatever it takes to protect her. Sometimes society will try to influence your children. Sometimes your children will face situations outside. But the real mothers, you see that they always have a way to protect their kids from unnecessary influence or influence that will destroy their children. Because they see something. When others see your children as trouble, you see only love. You see your children as love. When others see, just see a little boy or just a little girl, a mother sees a great person in her child. They know and they hope for a great things. When we sit here at table and we eat and we are talking about Willow, my daughter, we're always talking about what she could become in the future. And we are asking her questions about that. Why? Because we hope for good things for her life. And so in Moses' case, while people were seeing a curse or a problem in the house, in the family, because the king has declared that the child has to die, and you're keeping the child here, that is trouble. You have to get him out of the house. But her mother didn't see that trouble. She saw a child that was going to bring justice in the future. The mother of Moses saw a child that was going to deliver her people from slavery in the future. It's important for a mother to see this. The reason why some mothers let their children go uncultivated, lack of attention, not really taking any interest in the processes or in the things that their children are developing and going through and becoming, is because, first of all, they don't see what they need to see when they look at the child. They have a child and there's another one, put it there and go and keep going on. So children have to develop themselves, have to struggle, has to keep climbing and falling and being hurt in many ways, and they don't have no listening ears. And the only time they get somebody paying attention to them is when they have done something that the mother or papa is not happy about it. They scream on them and shout to them and tell. But mothers who protect are different. Mothers who protect are different. Mothers who protect always see something great in their children. And that is an important thing. The second point I want to talk about is that mothers advise. And that is where our scripture comes from. Our mothers advise. And so, in other words, I've spoken about the protection and the provision, because at the same time, while the mother was protecting Moses, she was also providing for her. And so she gave her all the comfort, all the compassion that this young child needed in order to go through this, terrible season for children in that time. And so the third point then will become that a mother advises. A mother advises. So when you read the book of Proverbs 31 verses 1, that is what is happening here. Here is King Lemuel, that as I've told you, is probably a pseudonym for King Solomon. A mother advises. In other words, she is about to advise her son for what is about to happen to him as a king. And I encourage you to read the whole book of Proverbs 31 verses 1 going down. But some of the key things that the mother teaches his son because of what she saw in him is that when you go, she teaches him about how to find the right partner in life. He being a man, finding a wife, and she says that you have to find a woman who is trustworthy. You have to find a partner who is trustworthy. You have to find someone who is diligent and generous and confident, and someone who is solution-oriented, someone who's always looking for a solution, who's always ready to do whatever it takes to provide and to bring the solution that we need, and not someone who will heap and make things even more difficult. She goes on to teach her son, she has to be someone who is willing to take care of her physical health as well as her spiritual health. So the fear of God is in her, the acknowledgement of God is in her, the reverence of God is in her, but she also, stay fit. She know what to eat and what not to eat, and those things. And that is very important, because imagine how many marriages or how many spouse would have been saved if their mother saw that, hey, this is where you're going, and this is the advice I have for you. And that is what mothers see. Mothers see before we even get there. And so King Lemuel received this advice about marriage from the mother. And based on that, I hope he made the right choices. He also goes on to advise him on things like social justice. When you read Proverbs 31, 8-9, he says, speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute. Speak up and judge fairly. Defend the rights of the poor and the needy. So social justice is not just something that started recently or in America. Social justice has been there since. Advocating for those who are needy, advocating for those who are being oppressed, those who are in destitution, those who are devastated, those who nobody's regarding, is part of what God is calling us to do. And a good mother always encourages their children, or mother always sees their children to be those who stand for others. And so here the mother advises the king to speak for the weak, to speak for those who can speak for themselves. And that's why at NF, we also believe in that advocacy of speaking and also to standing in the gap whenever we see that injustice is taking place, and that we will do whatever it takes to elevate those who are in need. And then there's so many things that I could say from the Proverbs 31, but for time's sake, I will be moving on to the next point, and then we will be closing because we have only a few minutes left. But I want to talk about something that I find very important, and that is that a mother is able to call out. A mother is able to call out or to draw out. What that means is that a mother is the triggering point, or has the capacity to trigger the things that their kids are good at. The gifts and the talents and the things that you see in them, you are in the best position to draw it out, because you see it, you notice it. And one thing, the example that is so profound is found in the book of John 2:3, when Jesus is about to perform, the King of Kings, the Son of the living God, is about to perform his first miracle. And let's look at how that happened, because I think it's fascinating. We always focus on the miracle, but the process, the processions, or the processes that led to Jesus fulfilling that miracle is important. He says that when you read John 2:3, he says that when the wine ran out, Jesus' mother said to him, they have no more wine. You know, that's what Jesus' mother says to the son on the day when okay took place, and then okay. So when they have run out of wine, Jesus' mother tells him, and Jesus answers his mother, and says that, woman, why does this concern me? Jesus replied, my hour has not come. Jesus tells the mother, my hour has not come. Jesus' mother, Mary, sees a problem. And out of nothing, she comes up that my son is capable of solving this problem. Ask yourself, what has she seen in the son that made her ask the son that question, or tell his son they have run out of wine? Has she perhaps seen Jesus in the house when maybe Mother Mary is not feeling well, or she's a bit down, and Jesus is just, goofing around, and she comes around, Mom, you're not feeling well, okay, can I do anything for you? What can I do to put a smile on your face? And Jesus will tell her mother, oh, yeah, I have this trick, you know what, just put a water in a cup and put it in front of you. I'll make a magic happen, or make something happen from my natural realm, which is the heavenly realm. And then the mother will fetch a cup of water and put it on the table, and Jesus will then turn that water into wine or something. And Mary was like, wow, you can do this. I didn't know that. And so probably Jesus has been doing all these type of supernatural things on earthly terms, but natural things in the heavenly realms. Because what happened, what we call miracle, is just saying that we cannot account for this, or we cannot explain what is happening now. And here in earthly terms. But when you are in the realms of the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, and the one who knows and understands all the terms, that is not a miracle. That is the everyday normal. You understand? And so Jesus turns the water into wine, and the mother has seen that. And now the mother sees, this is the moment for you, son. This is the moment. And even though Jesus says, this is not my time, my hour has not come yet, the mama realizes that his son's time had come. And that is what a mother sees. A mother sees what the hidden gifts, the hidden talents, the things that a child is holding on the inside, and maybe because of shyness, because of fear, because of intimidation, because of how friends and people make him feel, even at school, if the teachers tell them you're not smart enough and you're not this and that and this and that. And so the child is keeping all these things on the inside because of those fear and those things that people project on the child. But the mother knows something that others don't know. And so it becomes the duty of the mother to see that and to call it out and say, son, daughter, this is your moment. This is the time you can dance. This is the time you can sing. This is the time you can write. This is the time you can play. This is the time you can study. This is the time you become. And it's sometimes only the mothers, because children are at peace, at comfort, are relaxed in the atmosphere of their parents, especially if their mothers are around. So to end today's message, I couldn't give you all the full message today, but to really is so important as mothers, and especially in the community of NF, we encourage you as mothers to really keep your eyes on the kids. Fathers, of course, but today is Mother's Day, so I'm not trying to be, gender and all those things. It's a disclaimer. My goal is not to, no, I'm not doing gender stuff or sexism here, no. But I'm just saying that mothers have an important role, a potential role and influence on the outcome of their children. And this is what we see happening here in the book of John 2, that the mother calls Jesus into action. And from there, that becomes the first miracle. And from there, Jesus will do greater and greater and greater things. As a mother, you are in a position to initiate, to trigger, to draw out, to call out the gifts that your children are shy to show to other people, but they might be showing to you when they're home. They might be singing, they might be dancing, they might be writing. Encourage them. They might be drawing, they might be doing things. Don't laugh at them. Don't ignore it. See it and acknowledge it. And I believe that God will eventually make out of them the great, person, or the great, contributor to the earth. It's not about them, but it's about what they carry for the earth. So we love you, mothers. Happy Mother's Day. We thank you so much for joining us on NF this Sunday, 8th May, 9th of May, sorry, which is the Mother's Day. And we just want to say, God bless you, mothers. We love you. May God protect you or preserve you, continue to give you good health, continue to honor every desire of your heart, continue to provide for you, continue to sustain you, continue to give you all the good children that you expect out of your children. And may God bless every womb that is yet to even conceive. And may God honor his word on your life. God gives you those gifts because you can see what God places in those gifts. God bless you. Join us Thursday evening online for our Bible studies. And my prayer is that I will see you next week, Sunday, also online, joining our community, our digital church, our digital ministry. My name is Oscar Asamoah, and I hope to see you online soon. God bless you.